Hey Year 5, welcome to week 9 of maths. This week we're going to carry on converting units of measure. So what I'd like you to do is just note down, what can you remember? How many kilometres is in a metre? How many centimetres is in a metre? And how many millimetres are in a centimetre? I'll give you about 10 seconds just to see what you can remember from before. There are some prompts on the right hand side to help you. So let's look at these prompts and see if we can help work them out. So we know it shows us that kilo means 1,000, which means that we've got kilo in this kilometre, which means there must be 1,000 metres in 1 kilometre. That's right. There are 100 years in a century and 100 cents in a dollar. So that's the American symbol, American money. So that must mean that there are 100 centimetres in a metre. And in 1 centimetre, how many millimetres are there? So there are 100 millimetres in 10 centimetres. So 100 divided by 10 equals 10. That means there must be 10 millimetres in 1 millimetre. So well done if you got those correct. So I've just put this display on this slide because I think it's a really good reference point for you to use. For today's task, you will need to make sure you are secure in knowing the different length conversions. So you can use this slide to refer to if you need to. As a warm-up for today, I would like you to choose a number from the grid and multiply that number by 10, 100 and 1,000. Can you do the same thing for division? Use a place value chart to help you if you need to. How many can you do in 1 minute? So here are some of the answers. How many did you get correct? So we have spent quite a long time this year learning how to multiply and divide numbers by 10, 100 and 1,000. And I think we are getting very, very confident with doing that method. So when we are doing the conversion between units of measure, the key thing is you just need to remember, you need to know when you times and when you divide and by which number. Okay, so let's take a couple of examples together. So if we've got 370 millimetres and we need to convert that into centimetres. Now we know that there are 10 millimetres in every centimetre. So therefore, we need to divide 370, so we are dividing by 10. So 370 goes into our place value chart, and we are dividing everything by 10, which is one space to the right. We're making the numbers smaller. So everything shifts one space. 7 into the ones, 3 into the tens. So that would be 37. So 370 millimetres equals 37 centimetres. So really, you're just doing 370 divided by 10, which I know you can all do. Let's take one more example. So we're going to go from metres this time. We're going to go for, 475 metres to kilometres. So how many metres is in the kilometre? Well, that is 1,000 metres equals 1 kilometre. So to find out how many kilometres we are, we're going to have to divide. So we're going to have to divide 475 by 1,000. Now straight away, I know we're going to have to go into the decimal numbers because we haven't got anything in the thousands. So everything is divided 3 spaces to the right because you've got 3 placeholder zeros. So 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And then because you've got numbers after the decimal point and nothing before the decimal point, we need to put a 0 as a placeholder. So that means that there are 475 metres converted to kilometres equals 0.475. So the key thing to remember, Year 5, is you need to remember how many millimetres into centimetres, how many metres into kilometres, how many centimetres into a metre, and before you can do the calculation. So it's your turn to give it a go through on the next one. So now it's your turn. Can you convert 150 centimetres into millimetres? Do you need to divide or multiply the number? Have a think. So let's see how you got on with that one. So we need to convert 150 into millimetres. And you can see on the screen, I've put a model up for you to help you remember. So we are going from the centimetres to the millimetres. So we are going this way, using arrows to help you. So to find centimetres into millimetres, we're going to have to times by 10. So 150 times by 10. Okay, so that's our calculation. And use this as a guide to always help you. So 150 times by 10, 1,500. So there are 1,500 millimetres is the same as 150 centimetres. So well done if you got that correct. Have a go at this one. 149.7 metres into centimetres. Think carefully about your calculation. Okay, so 149.7 meters, meters into centimeters. Okay, so we already know that there are 100 centimeters equals 1 meter. So we're going to be timesing or dividing by 100. So let's work out whether it's times or divide. So we're going to be going from meters to centimeters. So we're going to follow the arrow around. So we can now see that we're going to be timesing by 100. So your calculation is going to be 149.7 times by 100. We could use a place value chart to help us with that. So I'm going to just draw one up now with a ruler, especially because we have got we've got a decimal point there. So we might just need a bit of assistance. If you don't need a place value chart, that is also fine. I mean, I would prefer it if you could do this independently, but the place value chart is there to help you. So, we're going to put our decimal point here. So, decimal point, that's our tenth, our 0, our ones, our tens, our hundreds, thousands, and our tens of thousands. 10,000. Okay, so that's got our number in here. So 149.7. So we're going to be shifting everything 2 spaces to the left to make them bigger, and we're going to go 2 spaces because there's 2 zeros in 100. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, and then we need to put a placeholder 0 to show that the number is 14,970. So 149.7 meters into centimeters gives you 14,970 centimeters. So well done if you got that correct. So for the tasks for today, I would like you to, all of you are to start on the green section and then move your way up and see how many you can get through. Look at the top of the table carefully and make sure you read look for the unit of measure. So don't get caught out. Take particular care on the purple grid because they are mixed measurements. So make sure you read the question carefully. And then once you finish those, there are some problem solving activities on the next slide. Morning Year 5, welcome to day 2 of maths. Today we're going to be thinking about converting weight. But first we're going to do a little bit of a quiz to recap what we did yesterday about converting measurements of length. The correct sign is the equal sign. That's because we know that there are 1,000 meters in a kilometer, so half of a kilometer is 500 meters. 7 kilometres is greater than 800 metres because we know that there are 1,000 metres in a kilometre, which means if we converted 7 km into metres, it would be 7,000, which is greater than 800 metres. So 5 km is greater than 500 metres because we know there are 1,000 metres in a kilometre. So if we were to convert 5 km into metres, we would do 5 times 1,000, and 5,000 is greater than 500. .3 kilometres is greater than 2,003 metres because if we converted 2.3 kilometres, we would do 2.3 times 1,000, which would give you 2,300, which is greater than 2,003. The correct answer is equals. They are both 900 metres. Okay, so today we'll be thinking about converting weight, and we'll be converting between kilograms and grams. And there's a model on the screen which is a really good one just to remember. So kilo means 1,000. So we are always thinking about using the unit of 1,000. So there's 1,000 grams in a kilogram. And as long as you remember that, you should be okay with this. So today we're going to be either multiplying or dividing by 1,000. Now you did this yesterday, so I know you should be able to do this. So there's 3 zeros in 1,000. So you're either moving the numbers, digit shifting them 3 spaces to the left to make it bigger, or 3 spaces to the right to make it smaller. So let's give an example. If I have 5 kilograms, or that could be kg, and I want to know how many grams, or g, I would do 5 times 1,000. So that gives me 5,000. Okay? Please remember we are not adding 3 zeros. We are digit shifting them all over. And if you need to use a place value chart, please do. What if we had grams? So we were given the total of grams. So we were given, say, 3,755 grams. How many kilograms? So we would digit shift everything 3 spaces to the right. Okay? So that would become, so imagine your decimal point is at the end, because you can't see that. So we would move so it would be 1, 2, 3. Your decimal place would now become 3.755. Please use a place value chart if you need to. So have a go at these ones for me. make sure you use the model to help you to work out whether you need to multiply or divide your number by 1000. How you get on with your turn? So, 41 kilograms. We are converting that to grams, so we are following the arrow around. And we are going to go, so it's going to be times by 1000. So you write your 41 into your place value chart, and we're going 3 spaces to the left. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Place values, placeholder zeros. So that would give you 41,000 grams. Please make sure you write the unit as well. So, 5,382 grams. So we're going grams to kilograms. So we're going to go this way, following the arrow. We are dividing by 1,000. So we will start off by writing the number into the place value chart. 5,382. Move it all 3 spaces to the right. 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And the decimal place stays where it is. So 5,382 grams equals 5.382 kilograms. So well done if you got that correct. For today's task, I would like you to choose whether you do mild, spicy or hot, and there is a little investigation for you to do about animals and pretending you are somebody who works in a zoo. So you will be converting grams and kilograms, just like you've been practicing with me on the board. So read the question carefully and try to work out whether you need to multiply or divide. Once you've done that, there are some problem-solving activities for you to give a go.
We all learn how to use metric measurements, but before metric measurements were invented, we used the imperial system. We still use some of those measurements. For instance, how tall is this builder? 6 feet. Of course, that doesn't mean he has 6 feet. It means he's 6 feet tall, which is an old way of measuring length, feet and inches. We can also measure him using centimetres. 6 feet is the same as 183 centimetres. Now, let's see how much he weighs in pounds, the imperial measure for weight. A pound is just under half a kilo, so this builder weighs 185 pounds.
Can I please use your metric system?
All right, in kilos, this is 84 kilos.
Just to summarise what the video said, there are some imperial units which are still commonly used, particularly with length. So miles, feet and inches are used quite often, mainly the miles. So when you drive your car, you'll quite often see there are so many miles to the next service stations rather than in kilometres. So there's a quick conversion down below. So there's 12 inches to 1 foot. An inch is approximately 2.5 centimetres. A foot is roughly equal to 30 centimetres. And a mile is approximately 1.5 kilometres. Now these are obviously estimates, but these are the ones that are most commonly used. But when you are converting between metric and imperial, most times they will give you the conversion rate, so you don't need to remember, you shouldn't have to remember these facts. So look at the pictures on the screen. Which of these imperial units of measure would you associate with these images? Inches, pounds, or pints? Have a go at linking them. So, inches measures the height or the length of something, and we often use that for measuring somebody's height. Pints is to do with capacity, and you'll quite often see in supermarkets that you will have 6 pints of milk or 2 pints of milk. And pounds, stones and pounds are used to measure our weight. Can you think of any other imperial measures that you've seen in everyday life? We have been given the conversion rate of 1 pint equals 568 millilitres. We are to circle the measurements that are less than 5 pints. So the first thing we need to do is work out what is 5 pints. So we need to multiply 568 multiplied by 5. So you do 8 times 5 is 40, so 0 and then carry the 4. 6 times 5 is 30, plus 4, 34. So it's not 4 tens, it's 4 ones. So 4 and then carry the 3. And the 5 times 5 is 25, plus 3 is 28. So your answer is 2,840. So 5 pints equals 2,840 millilitres. And the question is asking you which numbers to circle the ones that are less than 5 pints. So the answer would be 957, 2,419, 1,989, 2,838. So those are the 4 answers. Try this one. Is this statement true or false? Use the conversion rate on the screen. Statement true or false? Let's have a look. So 1 inch is 2.54 centimetres. This is saying 3 inches is this 7.26. Well, let's do 2.54 multiplied by 3. We can either do that as 2.54 add 2.54 add 2.54 so 12, 15 add 1, 16, 2, 4, 6, 7, so the answer there is 7.62. But we can also do that as 2.54 multiplied by 3. We haven't done this in class yet, but I think some of you will have done it at home. The decimal place stays where it is. 4 times 3, 12.1. 5 times 3, 15, plus 1, 6. Put the 1 down here. 2 times 3 is 6, plus 1 is 7. The answer is 7.62, which means that this number is false. The answer should be 7.62. Well done if you got that correct.